Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality.
From the plane energy, we gradually make our way into one of the most loveliest of forests. The New Forest. Hi. I can't help but be just so soft. It's like the forest is sort of welcoming in spring. You have that feeling in the trees that it's like they're going off on holiday somewhere, you know? I've got my trusty aides who decided to come with me. So this is going to be an energy update. This is also going to be a bit of a waffle on, so strap in, on energy basically. We're moving from one state to another. It's different, and I think we all understand that, being out in the plain in pure sunshine and moving into the forest. Obviously there's lots of stories we all grew up with about the big bad wolf in the forest. I just seem to find the green man every time I go there. Lovely old man, Noden. Is it Noden or Odin? Odin. So, transition. What's been going on with the energy this week? We will be doing a meditation with the trees and getting a message from the trees at the end of this video, so do hold tight. If you've been watching the ASTROFLOWERs, if you've been watching your sort of your tarot readings for this week, there was quite a few that was in transition, moving from one state to another. He's seen a bird up in a tree. Don't you just love dogs? And yeah, it seems to be a real sort of transition, you know, even between the beginning to the end of the week. And that's what energy is like. We all know a transition when we go into a place or into a forest. You can feel that difference, that different vibration. You can feel your body just relax just by walking through it. Absolutely brilliant. The sun has been putting out a lot of filament energies, that's water energies, and there's a lot of water around this forest, which is really good for a Capricorn, I'll tell you. 2/3 earth, 1/3 water. And that's helped to sort of, I'd say, stable the emotions, let's put it like that. So things are not too frantic. Then we had a coronal hole that came through. You should be seeing all this on one side or the other. And that changed the energy. And it certainly created a lovely path. It certainly created much more constructive energy over the weekend. Things seem to be in their place. Very Odin-like. What's coming up the following week? Well, look at that sun. It certainly is active and vibrant. We're really looking like we're coming into, let me just show you this tree, how beautiful it is. I don't know if you can capture that. We're really starting to walk into the forest. We can see Like the mother tree there that's looking after that bit of forest. There's another one there. I'm sure this was one at some point. A little bit out on the limb. So if you look at that sun, things could be a little bit more sort of vibrant. At the moment, I haven't seen anything on there in the way of solar flares, although there were 2, 3. I take that all back now. There were 3, but they weren't directed to Earth. And this is what the sun's been doing. If you've been watching the energy updates for some time, you'll start to understand that the sun has sort of gone into a situation where it's gone into one of its cycles, where it's giving the Earth the cold shoulder. So this week here could be that transition between those corona holes and that filament energy and solar flares, fire energy. But at the moment, things are on an even keel across the whole board, really. And that seems like it's going to be the case today or tomorrow, but things can change very quickly on the sun. As we all know, the people who are sat on a British beach know that things can change very quickly. And those of us up in the mountains as well, up in the Pyrenees, spent some time there, spent a lot of time there, lovely. The wind is just picking up. You can hear movement of creaking branches. It's almost like the trees are talking to each other. There's 2 streams just down there. Just put my coffee cup down, my tea. There's a stream that comes along there, there's another one that comes out the back. It's the joining of 2 paths. The water's concerned. Energy. Energy is an amazing thing. I hope you heard that. It doesn't have a purpose. That sounds really nasty, I guess. But I don't mean it's useless. Would be insulting, even to myself. That vibration that goes through me, goes through trees, goes through everything, is part of everything. And this goes further than any sort of plant or animal, or even a planet, or even solar system, galaxy, or the universe. Does it matter if we're part of something bigger? It doesn't really. We're part of this. All of this. And that's what energy is concerned about. Energy is concerned about the existence or non-existence. It doesn't have an agenda. That's what I mean by purpose. So energy doesn't really care whether you are nice or not. Sorry to say that, but that's pretty much how it is. Energy needs to exist and to have the material to flow through it. It's like Buddha when he sat at the base of a tree for 49 days, if I remember rightly. And at the base of that tree, he only drunk the dew from his face. He had many visions. One of the ideas that came out of that 49 days is that you don't need the material world, or you shouldn't want the material world to exist. You only need prana, you only need energy. But your body does need material to exist, like everything, even if it's only air. Like trees, they breathe the air, they capture the carbon, and they make a tree out of it. They don't make it with their roots. That's not how a tree is made. Roots is for keeping solid in the ground, stationary, not movement. All you Tauruses would know that. Or Capricorns. It drinks the water, and that makes sap, which goes through the trees and carries all of those molecules, like sort of carbon, sugars, that sort of thing, in order to make it. But it doesn't really take a great deal from the earth as in the way of nutrients. There is some, yeah, of course, but and that's a little bit like energy. It's sometimes presented in certain ways that are not really in tune with energy. This whole idea that energy doesn't really have an agenda. It's not fighting for the good side. It's not fighting for the bad side either. It's just saying, okay, you guys want to be good and you guys want to be bad. Whatever good and bad means to you, that's what energy means. Just whatever floats your boat, people. It's something that we use on a daily basis. Something that everything uses, including the planet. There's a calm that's just come over everything. It's all the place you could really feel your boots. Energy has a plus and a minus. This is why it doesn't quite understand the good and the bad, because it does need the plus and the minus to exist. That's how it flows. It doesn't actually flow through the wire, like a copper wire. It doesn't actually really flow through the copper wire. It's mainly on the exterior of the wire that the electricity flows, and it's looking for its outlet as quickly as possible. So energy actually comes up with inside us. It doesn't actually connect to your root chakra, and it certainly doesn't connect to your heart chakra. This is other misgivings about energy. If it was connected to your heart chakra and there was a big pulse that came through, it would really cause some havoc. Whereas the earth feels the energy as it's coming in. It adjusts itself accordingly. And then it allows it into its center, where it converts it into the Earth's vibration. There is no point where it is a direct line between the sun or the galaxy or the universe through to the Earth. There is this like a membrane of osmosis between one vibration and the other, and one vibration can accord to the other vibration. And this is how the energy exchanges happens. When people talk about energy vampires, it's not really that they're stealing your energy. But what they're doing is they're going to ask you to vibrate in a certain way which doesn't correspond with you. And that, when they're gone, makes you feel tired. It's like if I asked Usain Bolt, you know, the fast man, to run a marathon against a marathon runner, he probably wouldn't win. And then you ask the marathon runner to do 100 meters against Usain Bolt. You're going to be very tired. You're using your energy in ways that you shouldn't be using it. And that's what an energy vampire is. And it's usually because, not that they're nasty, but usually it's because they're a little bit lost. So knowing your energy and how you convert that vibration that comes into you, and that membrane of connection is actually in your sternum, just behind your sternum. So it's between the heart and the solar plexus, or the plexus solis, solar plexus. It's like we're sitting on top of a gyroscope, sitting on top of a spike of energy that comes into us. And then that pulsating vibration makes us pulsate and vibrate within our material body. And that can be affected by many things, by emotions and how we interact with other people. But primarily how we interact with all of that. There is a real difference between the vibration of the human matrix and the nature matrix. Completely different. One is built upon the ideas of the other, and a very crude example it is. I'll let you define which one that is. But we're just like children, copying our parents. And that's what energy allows. It allows that exploration of reality, of where we are and what we're doing and what we can really do with our energy. How we use that vibration to interpret our world around us. So energy is like that. It doesn't have a goal. It doesn't have an agenda. It doesn't think in good or bad. It just is. Therefore, energy can have every type of vibration. It is only us humans that interpret it and give it a moral standpoint. I wouldn't rush too much to make moral judgments upon energy. I think energy and the nature matrix know what they're doing much more than us. So as the sun drifts away and evening beckons, let's do a quick meditation with these lovely trees. Just slip into their conversation. A quick thing about talking to trees. The best way to talk to trees is not necessarily hug it. I love hugging trees, yeah. You know? It's great to have a cuddle every now and then. Who doesn't like a cuddle? Yeah? But when have you had a serious conversation with someone whilst giving them a huggle? A cuddle. A hug. It's a bit difficult. So give yourself space. Just like the trees give each other space. Okay? So let's just introduce ourselves. That caused a bit of a splash. Like anything, observation is always the first step in a relationship. The conversation is normally internal, so I would just talk it out loud, because obviously you won't hear it. You can't decode to a telephone. Some people might be able to connect. What brings you to these parts? They're very welcoming. We seem to know each other from long date. They're very welcoming now. My feet are tingling like mad. My root chakras is just stretching into the ground and connecting and becoming like a tree. It's quite amazing. And I feel like my energy is elongating, growing like a tree, resembling what I am with the things that are around me. I just wanted, they're asking me what am I doing here, and I just want to ask you, what is your impression of the vibration of the earth at this time? It is skitty. Change is afoot. Far greater than you humans could possibly understand. The lifetime of a planet is not the lifetime of the human race. We are just but a blink in the eye of Mother Nature. Trees talk very slowly, so when they mean a foot, they're talking years, when me and you would think it was tomorrow. Is there any way in which we can help out? Fair enough. That was really quick. I think the words were, grow up. That's the best way of interpreting it. Realize you're part of something that is much bigger than you and I, or us. Get over it. Just get over it. Just asking it what sort of configuration would be best for us in this coming week or so, or 2 months. So they have the solar plexus. The wind has now picked up. There is a certain urgency in the air. The branches are creaking again, and they are talking. The heart is there, solid, heavy. Not heavy as in disappointment or sadness, but knowing what you do is right. It's following down to the sacrum and the throat chakra. You have the possibilities within you. You just need to express them freely, without judgment, and understanding that we are all heading in the same direction, be it tree or human. Take your place in the nature matrix. Don't set yourself apart. I thank you for your time. They're closing off with the crown and the root. I can feel my feet gradually working their way back up into my body. birds are now singing. Obviously, it's time to go and get a warm cup of tea somewhere. So, hope you enjoyed that. As for the energies going on for the ASTROFLOWER, it's if you look at your readings, you're probably going to be looking at fire and air this week. Well, certainly at the moment. As I say, the KP index was quite up. The Earth went through 2 magnetic storms in 2 days. And I think it might calm down a bit. But that sun definitely looks like it's kicking out. So, keep an eye out. I will put some links in the description below so you can observe all of the activity on the sun. And you can see what's going on for yourself. Okay? In the meantime, don't forget, life should be fun, so please do enjoy.
Don't believe, just know. Cymatic TV, turning vibration into reality.